Yeah. So what's happening, Vaishnav?
So the cursor just loads for some seconds and then
But
the
I'm not
code
able to
opens.
see, I'm not able to see that particular option even. Anaconda navigator, where is it? Ah, yeah, this one, right? So you are clicking on that, right? Just click on that. What's happening?
It just loads for some
Okay,
seconds.
okay, okay. Then what you do is, uh, see, you know where Anaconda is installed, right? So you
Yes,
just
sir.
go to the location like C users username, and there you will find out a folder called as Anaconda 3.
Okay, sir.
Go to C drive, C users username. Maybe it might happen that some files might be corrupted there. C users username. See Anaconda. See this folder I am talking about. So you need to check here. Just check whether there is exe file. See conda underscore conda.exe file. Are you able to see that?
Yes,
Conda.
sir.
Just click on that.
So I've clicked on it.
What?
So I've clicked on the file.
Yeah. So wait for some time. As you click on this, just wait for some time. It will load.
Okay, sir.
If there is a problem, then it will not. Right? So see, these kind of problems are like, yeah, obviously they are dependent on your system and number of factors are there actually. But yeah, it can be solved, no problem. Otherwise, I think have you tried to install it once again?
What, sir?
Have you tried it to install it once again?
Yes, sir. It's
Because see,
my third time, I guess.
okay, okay, so there might be a reason like I can see on your computer. See, do you have any other Python version installed already?
Yes, sir. I have Python
Okay,
3.8.
okay. So just remove that then.
Okay, sir.
Remove that and then make use of Anaconda.
Okay, sir.
Clear? Okay. And don't worry, see, even if you do not have Anaconda installed on your machine, have you tried out Colab? Yesterday I told you.
Yeah, sir. I have looked into it. I will just do that today.
Yeah, that is also okay. Right? Otherwise, see, if you still face the problem, just let me know in the group, and later on I will give separate timing for that. Okay, if you really want to go for this, if still this problem exists, you can share the screen later on,
Okay,
and
sir.
then you will solve it. But right now, what you can do, you can do it through Google Colab if you want to execute.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. You can stop sharing. Right. So, okay, wait, just a minute. Let me share the screen once again. Yeah. So hello everyone. Last time, let me just tell you what we have discussed in the last session. So we were talking about packages, right? So yeah, I already told you maybe we will require one more session extra. So yeah, be ready with that actually. So see, I'm just trying to spend some time here. We are trying to discuss all these packages actually. One of the examples of this package I already showed you, right? Yesterday we discussed this particular package. Today we will try to finish this one and this one at least. Because what are you doing for this applications, as I told you, I'll be explaining you the code, right? So maybe first application we will try to see line by line for some part, and then I'll be sharing the code for that. Okay, that is one thing. So our target is to finish these packages first, because they are the ones which we are going to require here, and rest of the syllabus for rest of the syllabus. Because see, even if you can see, I have added the topics like this. So yeah, I'll be explaining you these topics also, and I want to show you all these things, this project and the deployment of that. Okay, and before that, some applications which we are going to, some real-time applications which we will do. Okay, so this will be like definitely people need to try out all these things on your own, right? And I hope many of them they are actually trying out, because yesterday many of you have uploaded your assignments, the solutions of your assignments on GitHub, and yeah, I have actually sent the feedbacks to most of them. So that's good. That's positive response I can see from you people that many of them, they are actually solving the assignments very by taking very keen interest into that. Right? So that's good. That's really good. I like that. So keep that particular thing. Okay. So just and have some patience. Okay. So yeah, and I think there were some problems for some of the questions for some people. I already solved that. Those people who asked me the questions, I have given them the solutions. And at the end of all these sessions, I will be giving you solutions for all the questions which I have shared. Okay, so that's also again not a problem, right? So yeah, before starting with this today's session, can you people just anyone any other question, any doubt you have, maybe in the assignment which I have shared yesterday? Any doubt, you just let me know. Till then, you can see that my Anaconda is being loaded. Okay, it is loaded. Let me just cancel the warnings. This system. Okay, let me read out some of the questions. Sorry. So, can you explain how to upload on GitHub? Sneha, I already told you yesterday, right? Just a minute, I will tell it to you once again. Yes, she is asking what does axis do in sum of row or column in matrix. So, yes, axis is nothing but what? Axis is just one of the parameters. When axis equal to 0, it means you are talking about rows. When axis equal to 1, it means you are talking about columns. Is it clear? Yes, is it clear? When axis equal to 0, it means rows. And when axis equal to 1, it means column. And today we are going to see, in pandas, we are going to see that particular thing in more detail. But remember, till this point, just remember that axis equal to 0 means rows, axis equal to 1 means column. Okay. Now to answer your question, Sneha, how to upload your assignment on GitHub, let me show it to you. See, what you have to do is, it's very simple. Go here, just Google GitHub. Okay. So if you do not have an account on GitHub, what you need to do is sign up. Okay. If you click on sign in, it will ask you to sign. In my case, I already have account, right? So see, signing up is not a difficult now. Just you need to provide some details. It's like creating an email ID, right? Just click here. Now once you will log into your account, you will be able to see something like this. Okay, something like this. So what you need to do is you need to upload your assignment, right? So maybe you can check here. Now here you can see your repositories, right? So repository is something where we store something. It's a storage we can. Repository is nothing but what? It's a storage. So what you can do is you will get an option, create new repository. So in my case, as I have already created, that's how it is showing me the option then new repository. Just click on that. If it shows new repository in your case, just click on that, create the new repository. But in my case, I already created the repository, right? So what you need to do is see, I created the repository with the name Yogesh. So I will go inside that. In your case, if you haven't created the repository, you will have to give your name. For example, Sneha. Then what you will be able to see is you will be able to see the option to upload the assignment if you want, right? So here you can see in my case I already uploaded. See this one. And if you want to upload, so here you will be able to see some link, upload options. For example, see upload button here I am getting. Click on this, right? Now whatever I want to upload, I can upload here. Okay, so the code which I have already uploaded for that actually will be showing me some of these things. Again, you can have a version control on Git actually. That is not the part you need to worry about. You just need to upload the assignments, whatever I am sending it to you, right? Or whatever the questions you need to upload, whatever the answers you need to upload, you just need to upload the files. So maybe RPYND file in your case, for example, it may be a PDF file, whatever it may be, you can upload all the files. Right. Now see here I can, if I want to upload a new file, just go here, browse the files. For example, these are the files which I have uploaded already. If someone wants to download this, they can download it from here, download zip, they can download my code. Okay. So here you will be able to see the upload option. Just see, there are a lot of uses of this GitHub. If you have a Git account right now, definitely it is going to help you later on. See, in this case, you can see the files which I have uploaded, right? So if you want something to add here, just go here and just upload your files. In my case, it is showing me add file option. In your case, also it will show. Just click on upload files. and whatever the files now you want to upload, just click on this choose, and now it will browse, and it will take you to the location. Just go to the location where you have stored your files. For example, in my case, my files are stored in this C drive, users, user location, right? IPYNB file. I'm just trying to go to the location where my IPYNB files are stored, where I solved the assignment, for example. So in this particular folder, and maybe suppose this file. So I want to upload any one of these. Suppose I want to upload the solutions file I want to upload. Just go here, click on open, and now you will be able to see that file. See, solutions file is uploaded, and commit the changes. So this particular part I already told you yesterday, right? And many people have already created this. See, this is very now. If you want to see, just click on that file, and you will be able to see all the solutions which I have solved. So if you just go and Google Yogesh Boromkar GitHub, you will be able to see my file. See? And even you can make it as private, public, whatever you want. See, all these things, all the solutions are there now. Okay. So is it right, Snell? I got it. .ipynb, Shivam. If you are asking me which format we save the file, .ipynb. Yeah. Is it okay, Shivam? You got your answer? .ipynb. Yeah. But for that matter, on Git you can store anything. And see, why I'm asking you to do this kind of thing is, see, what will happen is, let's suppose after some days you will develop some projects. What you should do is, you should put those projects onto GitHub. What will happen because of this? So whenever you go for some interviews in future, what you can do is, you can add your GitHub link into your resume, and you will send a soft copy, for example, to some interviewer, right? So what he can do is, he can just go and refer your GitHub link. There itself you will come to know on what type of projects you have actually done. And yes, it's really very useful. Instead of storing your work on your local machine, who knows, local machine might get some problems, right? Instead of that, just go and store it on GitHub, right? And there are a number of things. Even in real time, many companies also make it up for version controlling, and there are a number of use cases. But yeah, just to start it, at least start making use of GitHub, you will come to know number of things. Even I will say that you will get ready-made projects on GitHub, which many professionals, what professionals do is, they put their work on GitHub. You can just refer them, right? That's a really good thing. Okay, guys. So I hope everyone understood how to upload the files on the GitHub. Let me start with the today's session. Okay, let's continue. There was a very small part which was remaining in case of NumPy. Let's continue with that. So in my case, I think I did not launch Jupyter Notebook. Let me launch it. Yeah, Jupyter Notebook. And yes, I think there was one person, Vaishnav was facing some problem in case of Anaconda. See, even if you do not have Anaconda, what you have is, you have something called as Google Colab. So as it is loading, I will just try to talk about Google Colab also. See, it's a very good option. If you do not want to execute your code on your local machine, what you can do is, you can make use of Google Colab. Now you people know how to execute Python, right? See, just go to Google Colab. What it will take is, it will take username as your email ID. Here also you should have an account actually, but this is like, you can execute your code without installing anything. Without, see, this is called as Google Colab. So I want to create a notebook, suppose one notebook I want to create, or I want to upload a notebook. I want to upload my file. I can upload it on Google Colab. See, this is the link. Even I can share my code link with you people also. What you need to do is just search for Google Colab. It's a product of Google. It's really good. If you people want to execute the code without installing anything, see, I will show you a simple example. And there is a very good help available for Google Colab. Whatever we have done till now on Jupyter Notebook, all the things you can do here. That's why I told you initially only, right? I will be teaching you about all the platforms: Google Colab, Spider, PyCharm, VS Code, Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, command line. There are a number of options. Code is going to remain same. See, here I can run my code. Suppose I want to run range. Range function you are available, right? So range of 10, 20, right? So you know how to run it. Just go shift enter or just click here. But the only thing is that you always require internet for this, right? But yes, it's a good option. So it depends on your internet speed, how much time it is going to take actually. So see, it is running. So in our case, it shows star. In this case, it is going to show this particular circle, right? So it is not showing it output, but it has run. So I just need to typecast it here. So list of range, right? You remember, right? We always typecast it. And here also you have to. Here also. So I have just shifted that. Now you are able to see the output. So this is what I was asking you, Vaishnav. Or maybe so if someone who is facing some problem with Jupyter, right? Now see, this is what you can do. So like this, you can go on adding different cells here and see, add the cells like this. Exactly similar to what we have seen in case of Jupyter. Exactly the same. I hope you people have understood this, right? So whatever you want, I want to generate 200 numbers, same thing, shift enter. And you'll be able to see the output here itself. So even you don't have to install anything. Just go search Google Colab, create an account, and you'll be able to see all these things. And you can even you can directly upload your code from Google Colab to GitHub. That's also possible. Or if you want someone to give some access to your code, for example, if you want me to give the access and make the changes, you can do that. You just need to share this particular link with me, and I can make the changes from my place into your code. So it's really good. Okay, so I hope everyone is going to try out Google Colab, right? So if I will just try to type the name in the chat box. If someone is not able to understand what I am talking about, just you need to Google it. Maybe you can do it later on. Okay, right now just continue with whatever you have. I have already told you there are a lot of options to perform to what you can say to executor. Right? So just check in the chat box. I have sent the name Google Colab. It's really a good option. So where it will be good, suppose if you have very less memory, maybe less CPU, or if you do not have a GPU, and if you want to learn deep learning applications. For example, if you want to create a project, actually this is a project which will come under deep learning kind of thing. So for example, there's a project where you want to, from the video itself, your model should be able to identify whether a person has wear the helmet or not, wear the mask or not, right? So what we can say is object detection in the video. So in that case, you will require more CPU, more GPU unit, graphical processor unit. So that can be actually available here. See, RAM and all those things you can have all these things here. So yeah, not please. Obviously, that will be a next part where we are just trying to talk about very basic things like Python. But yeah, in future definitely we will come to know about this. Those people who want to work in maybe IoT, artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, maybe in analytics, definitely this is going to be very very useful because you might be knowing that you can even incorporate your Python code in hardware. That's why I said IoT, right? So everywhere Python is going to be useful. So this is a very small part which we are trying to talk about. Okay. So yes, Google Colab is a very good option. Without wasting any time, let me continue with this session. Okay, so let me just create some space here and let me go to the NumPy package. And I think I already see this is my Jupyter notebook. As usual, what I will do is I will go and I will try to open a new notebook here. Okay, let me just use one. I have two ports actually, so if I want to make use of that pane, I cannot make use of my this webcam. That's why I'm just removing and just hitting the things. Okay. So numpy package. So what is the command? We import this. Numpy is already installed in our case. So import numpy as in. Always remember, whenever you are starting with a new session, you always need to import it, right? So see, in this case, someone was asking me. I think Michelle was asking me that what is that star. So initially, you are going to see a star here. So if it is taking some time, if it is in execution, you will see star like this. See, and once that execution is done, that star is going to. It is not going to be there. Okay, so it is just for it will be just for the execution purpose. So it will show that okay, some execution is going on. Okay, so let me continue with where we left in the last session. So we were talking about NumPy package. In that case, the last topic which we talked about was indexing, and indexing is one of the best, what you can say, one of the important topics in case of NumPy. So I hope, as I have seen, as I have checked most of your solutions, most of you are actually sent me the solutions, right? Most of you saw the assignment questions. So I hope that everyone has understood this particular thing, indexing, right? So maybe I think there is no question to everyone, so I will continue the next one. So next topic is fancy indexing. Now fancy indexing is again not a new topic actually. And if you people check the notes which I have provided yesterday, this thing is already mentioned. Okay. So fancy indexing is also a indexing. Right? Suppose let me create an array. Suppose np dot zeros. Right? np dot zeros, you know what it does. It is going to create an array of zeros. But here I want to create a two-dimensional matrix. So what I can do is np dot zeros of 10 by 10. So what it is going to do is it is going to create an array of 100 zeros. You can see, right? This is a two-dimensional matrix, starting with two square brackets and ending with two square brackets. So what I will do is I will just try to assign this particular thing to this particular variable ARR2, array two-dimensional array. Okay. Now, actually, what I want to do is I want to create an array in which in the first row there will be all zeros, in the second row there will be all one, in the third row there will be all two, and so on till 9. This is what I want to do. What I need to say is, see, I will just try to show you what is the expectation here. So row and column, right? We have rows and columns. Now what I want is in the first row I want all the zeros. Always remember, first row is nothing but what? First row is nothing but the row at the index 0. That is our first row, right? So at the first row itself I want 0. That means if this is the matrix, this kind of a matrix I want. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and so on till 9. Okay. So 9, 9, 9, and so on like this. So this kind of array I want to create. So as I am creating all zeros, so this array you have already seen how it looks like. Here I have all the zeros. So I just want to give a simple example from zeros how you can come up with a new array. That new array that I just showed you, right? So instead of these zeros, I want okay. First row all zeros, second row all ones, third row all two, three, four. This is what I want to achieve from this particular two-dimensional matrix. So for that, what I'm going to do is first of all ARR2D. Now you know what is the output of this ARR2D dot shape. It is going to give me 10 by 10. So first 10 is what? Number of rows. Second 10 is what? Number of columns. So what I will do is from this one I will just try to take number of columns. So number of columns is what? 10. So I will just go and I will just assign this particular value to some variable array length. So the array which I want to create, right? That means the value of array underscore length, this particular variable is going to be 10, like this. Now I am going to make this particular variable and I am going to create the required array like this with the help of for. So for some variable I, okay, for some variable I in array length. Now array length I cannot write it down like this. So what I will do is I will use range of array length. Now what is the value of array length? It is 10. So range of 10 is what? 0 to 9, and that's it. I'm just going to make the change in ARR underscore 2D. So what was the name we have given to the array? ARR2D, not underscore. This array I am talking about. See, this array I am talking about. Okay. So in that array I want to make a change. So ARR2D of I is going to vary from 0 to 9. So ARR2D of 0, ARR2D of 0 is first row, ARR2D of 1 is second row, ARR2D of 2 is third row, and so on. So I just want to assign the value as I to that particular row and just run it. Now if I go and if I try to check ARR2D and run it, now you will be able to see required. See? So this is a very simple example which shows you can get the required arrays with the help of zeros, or maybe even with the help of ones also you could have got it. Right. So what is fancy indexing is in this kind of arrays, what you can do is suppose I just want to index it. So ARR 2D of suppose I want first row, fourth row, sixth row, and eighth. So see, this is possible. So those people who solve assignment questions, they will be easily able to understand this particular thing because in that assignment I will give you some of the questions related to indexing. Later on also I will be giving you some more questions to solve here, but I do not want to spend that much of time right now because we are already lagging behind. Okay, there are a lot of questions actually I want to discuss, but maybe I will try to share them one by one, not at once actually. So let's see those questions later on. Okay, but yes, questions are based on indexing. So just you can see this is called as fancy indexing. Whatever you want, you can actually index that. Okay, so that's a simple example of indexing. Next topic, I think this is the last topic in case of NumPy is selection. So suppose let me create an array. This array which is given in your notebook again, np.arrange. Now you know what how arrange actually works. So 1 comma array. So in ARR I'll be getting what 1 to 10 elements because always this particular element is not going to be considered. Right. So what are the operations I can do? Suppose if I do ARR greater than 5. Now in this particular array, wherever ARR is greater than 5, there only it is going to show me true. Otherwise, it is going to show me false. As simple as that. Now, it is giving me true, false, true, false. That is Boolean. What if I want to have actual value according to this particular condition? So what I can do is I can go and index on that particular condition. So wherever ARR greater than 5, I want to see those values. So which are those values? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So as simple as that. This is and even you could have stored this particular result or this result also in some way. That's also possible. Right? So this is a simple what you can selection based on some conditions. Right? And similarly, you can do number of arithmetic operations on arrays. Suppose let's talk about a specific array here. Suppose my array is something like this. np.arrange of, right? So what I will do is I will start with 0. So 0 to 9 it is going to give me, right? ARR is going to be what? 0 to 9. Now what if I do ARR plus ARR? So it will be like 0 plus 0, 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. So respective elements are going to be added. So if I go, sorry, it should not be 8, it should be ARR, right? Now see, 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus, 3 plus 3 is 6 and so on. So addition is okay. Subtraction if I go for, obviously every element you are going to get it as 0. Let me check about multiplication whether it's possible or not. You can see each and every element is going to be multiplied, right? Now, but if I go for something like division, what will happen in case of division is, see, this is my original array. So 0 by 0, 0 divided by 0. Now you know divide by 0, it's infinity. Actually, it's exception. So what Python is going to do in that case is it will give exception, but for others it is definitely going to give result. See, it will give warning only. Runtime warning. Invalid value encountered in two divide. Why this kind of a thing has happened? Because we are trying to do ARR divided by 0. ARR. And in this case, what going to happen is there is a situation where 0 by 0 is going to happen. That's why you are going to get the result as NaN. NaN means what? Not a number. Okay, invalid value you can say. So, but for others, yes, it has given me the result. But along with what? Along with what? It has given me some warning, runtime warning it has given, right? So I want to tell you that, see, for divided by 0, Python knows, Python actually identifies that. Even if I go for like something like this, so in this case, runtime warning divide by 0 encounter, right? So you can check that the answer is infinity. INF means infinity. And you might be knowing that even for log, if you go for log, let me check out for log operation if it's possible or not. Log of ARR, let me see. It is log. Maybe I think I will have to check what is the option. Log. I will have to check. Or np.log, I think. Maybe let me check. ARR dot or np.log. NumPy dot. Yeah, numpy.log is standard. Right. So numpy.log of ARR. Let me check this one. Now see, here also I am getting minus infinity. So here also I am getting runtime error. So you might be knowing that log of 0 is this one, right? So that's why. Obviously, the base is going to be different in case of log. But my point is that see, Python is able to identify all those things. And even you can do the operations like star star also. Suppose I want to find out a star star 4 raised to 4 of every element. Yes, you can easily find it out. Right? So this is one thing, and there are some universal functions which you can apply. Suppose numpy dot, you will get number of functions. So I want to find out the square root of each and every number from here. So you can find out np dot square. Similarly, if you want to find out something like np dot maybe exponentiation of all the elements, so here you can find out the exponentiation of all the elements. Similarly, if you want to find out standard deviation, some people were asking me about standard deviation. So this is also another way to find out the standard deviation, right? For your array. What is standard deviation? If you are not aware about it right now, do not worry. I will explain it to you. Okay. So Kushi is asking, sir, to create ND array, we can pass a list or any array like object to the array. See, Kushi, to create ND array, you can pass list inside a list, or you can make use of range method. Are you getting that? See, the array which I have created, this one, this is 1D array. It's a vector, right? So if you want to convert it into 2D array, that's possible with the help of reshape. So I need to say you can use range, you can use a range. All these options are available. And initially, I have even shown you if you pass a list as an input to the np.array, that list also is going to be converted into array. Is it clear, Kushi? You can pass list inside a list and so on. So there are different options, but generally we do not pass list because see we have methods available like arrange, which automatically generates a number. Okay, so sign on all these things are also possible, right? So these are some of the things which I wanted to discuss about NumPy. So maybe if after this also if you are having some questions, maybe we can discuss it once we complete all these things which are given in the syllabus. Right? Now, let me continue with the next topic, and that is nothing but pandas. Pandas, I will go with the matplotlib first because matplotlib is not going to take that much of time. So let me show you matplotlib package. Okay, so yeah, this one. So these are the things which I am going to talk about now. Let me make use of this untitled notebook also. Again, for matplotlib also, I'll be sharing you the notes, with you today itself. Right. So let's continue with this particular package. Now, matplotlib. The basic use of matplotlib package is for visualization. Right. This is a very basic package which we can use for visualization. And again, it's not like that there is only matplotlib. There are other packages also for visualization. But to start with visualization, matplotlib is one of the basic things, or it is one of the important things. So it is actually many times you might have heard, or you will see that you might hear people saying that matplotlib is actually like a grandfather library for data visualization with Python, right? So some of you, by chance, if you have come across one language or tool that is called as MATLAB, I don't know whether people are aware about it or not. MATLAB is a tool which is used for visualization in signal processing and all these things. So what MATLAB package does is whatever MATLAB tool can do. So MATLAB was developed just to do all the things which MATLAB tool was doing. So in Python, matplotlib package can do all the things which MATLAB was able to do. Okay, even if you are not aware about MATLAB, don't worry. But I just wanted to say that matplotlib was developed by considering that MATLAB software into our. Okay. Just a minute. Now, as I told you, this particular thing can be used for visualization. And visualization is one of the important aspects. Whenever you want to understand about some data, visualization is going to play very, very important role. And that's why the person with the name John Hunter, he has come up with this particular idea. The person with the name John Hunter, he has what you can say, he created this particular package, Matplotlib. So he just created it to try to replicate MATLAB. It was another programming language. So MATLAB's plotting capabilities in Python. Just to replicate the MATLAB's plotting capabilities in Python, John Hunter came up with Matplotlib package. Okay. So talking about this Matplotlib, it's excellent 2D 3D graphics library for generating some scientific figures, right? And it is used to get simple plots, I can say. It supports some custom labels and texts also. You can have change in the font, right? You can have change in the size of the figure. So and you can have great control on every element of the figure. And there are different output formats which it supports. Like you can have your output format in PNG, JPEG, and so on. Okay, and it is customizable in general, I think. Now, how to import MATLAB? So as we have talked about NumPy, initially what we have done in that case, we have just imported NumPy, right? So here, how you can import Matplotlib is import. You need to write down import Matplotlib. So I'm just trying to press tab button. I'm just trying to see whether it is going to take it or not. So you can see when I pressed tab button, this particular sign is try to do nothing and is gone. Whenever I am pressing tab button, there is a change in this particular site, this particular you can say this will change. Just have a notice on that later on. Okay. So see what you need to do is import matplotlib.py plot. .py plot. This is what you need to input. As so generally we make use of PLT allies. PLT as allies for matplot. So you need to run this particular code. Just check in your case also whether it is running or not. Import matplotlib.py plot as PLT and then just click on this run and you will be able to import the matplotlib. So in my case it is successfully imported. Just check in your case also, there should not be error. If it is, then you need to go and you need to install the package with the help of Anaconda prompt. That's what you can do, right? And always remember, as we are using Jupyter Notebook here, yes, when using Google Colab Vaishnav, it will allow importing all the packages. It will allow. Don't worry. Now, always remember, whenever you are going to make use of Jupyter Notebook, you always need to fire this particular percentage matplotlib space inline. Now this particular line is called as magic line. So this we make use of only in Jupyter Notebook. Why? Because it will take care to show your figure in the given area. That's why this is necessary. Okay. Otherwise, if you are using some another ID, some other tool, what you can say to plot the graphs, you don't have to fire this particular graph. Okay. So let's try to plot our first graph. First plot. So obviously, for plotting the graph or the plot, we require to generate the data, right? So how we generate data? So let me make use of NumPy, right? So see, I have already included NumPy. There is no need to import NumPy. But if you haven't imported, you need to file this import NumPy and then so I need data. So what I will do is I will generate the data. X is equal to np.linspace. I hope you people remember linspace, right? So linspace, suppose 0 comma maybe suppose 10 comma, let's suppose 12. That means you know, right? It is going to generate 12 linearly spaced numbers between 0 and 10. Let's run it. Let's check X. So see, it has generated 10 linearly spaced numbers. Similarly, I will generate Y also. So Y is equal to, let's suppose X star, let's suppose let's take the square of this X star star 2, right? So this is what my Y is. Now I have X value and I have Y value. Let me try to show you how to plot a graph, how to plot a plot, right, with the help of matplotlib, right? So if you can see here how I have imported matplotlib package, import matplotlib.py plot as create. Right? If some people haven't typed it, let me just save this particular command in the chat box, and you can just copy paste it, and then you can see that it should run. So I'm just trying to paste it in the chat box. Okay. So PLT, I have imported it as PLT. So what I will do is just to plot the graph, PLT dot plot. This is what I am going to make it. PLT dot plot X versus Y or X comma Y. Let me just run it and let's see what happens. So see, this is what the graph I got, right? So you can check. We are not able to find out which one is the X and which one is the Y. But see, if you look at the X-axis, right, and if you look at the Y-axis, so X-axis is the value of X, Y-axis is the value of Y, right? And the relationship between them is something like this, because Y is nothing but the square of X. That's why the relationship is something like this. But yes, again, it is not readable. There is no title, there is no name to the X-axis or Y-axis, and so on. And yeah, by default, it is going to make use of this kind of a color for the line. So we can change all those things here. Let's suppose I want to have another color for that line. So what I can do is, and again, remember, many people were asking me some questions even about some of the arguments. See, you yourself can answer actually. Suppose I do not know what is this plot. Just put your cursor here and press Shift tab. You will get help regarding that particular method, and you will even get the help regarding all the arguments which it accepts. Just check it, right? You can see, even you can see the examples also. So Python itself tells you how to learn Python, right? And that's why the Jupyter notebook is really helpful. The help is really good here, right? Just to start with, that's why this Jupyter notebook is really very handy. Now, what I will do is I will go here and I will try to type the same command. Suppose I want to make the color as red. Now see, I will just write down in single quote. I will write down red. Now, no need to remember what is good for red color, what is good for blue color, and so on. You have a help available. Just go here, and definitely it's something we will talk about here. See, we will be giving some options, right? Lot of options are there. There is no limit to it. Okay, so always try to explore all these things. See, color B is for blue, G is for green, R is for red, C is for cyan, magenta, yellow, black, white, and so on. You can check it, right? Suppose I want to go for let's suppose yellow. So I just go here. I will just go here and write Y here and then run it. You will be able to see that the color of this particular line is yellow. Right? So that's why I'm telling you. Do not forget this. Shift enter, shift tab, shift tab. If you press shift tab here, it will show you. Okay, so it's a simple plot. Now what I am saying is it is not readable. So just to make it readable, what I can do is I can make use of other lines. But in the same line, I will have to write down where I have written this particular. So what I will give some title, X label, Y label. So plt dot X label. Now I want to give some name to the X-axis. So let's suppose I will give name like this. X-axis I will give that value of X, something like this, and run it. Now, can you not check here on X-axis? This is written value of X, right? So this is the same thing you can do it for Y-axis also. Just instead of this X label, plt.x label, what you need to do is plt.y label. That's it. So plt.y label, and obviously you need to change this value of X, value of Y, and then run it. Now on Y-axis also you can see value of Y. Now it is somewhat readable. And same thing you can do it for plt dot if you want some title for your graph, right? So plt dot title, whatever the title you want to give. Suppose let's give like this: graph of X versus Y, something like this. Suppose I'm giving, right? And then run it. Now you'll be able to see something like this. And in many other tools or notebooks, what we use is plt dot show and then run it. Not compulsory here, but see, if I do not make the plt dot show, what's happening is just try to understand. It is showing me this particular thing. So if you do not want to see this, just go here and write down plt dot show, and you will be able to see something like this. Right? I hope everyone is clear to this point. Okay, so what people are saying, let me check. Import matplotlib, okay, Y label. Okay. Unable to see help with shift tab. How it's possible, Ashok? If you are unable to see help with shift tab, that means we haven't imported matplotlib. Ashok, just check that first of all. First of all, check that you have run this particular command. Then only shift tab is going to work in your case. Is it clear, Ashok? Just need to check whether this is working or not. Yeah, Ashok, is it making sense? Just let me know. So moving forward. So see, I hope everyone is able to do this. Okay, let me just copy paste this particular code in the chat box, and if you want to try it out, you can also try it out. I'll send the code in the chat box. Now, moving forward. So see, here what I am doing is I am creating a single plot. But what if I want to create a multiple plots? And that's what we do in real time. I do not want only one plot on this particular space. See, always remember, whatever the space which you are able to see, this one, where you are able to see the plot, this particular location, this space. So consider this as, so this is actually called as canvas. So I want more than one graph, more than one plot on this canvas. So here I am able to see what only one graph, only one plot. But what I can do is I can divide this canvas into multiple rows and multiple columns. For example, this consider this one as one row. I want to divide this into one row and two columns. So one row, two columns. First graph will be here, second graph will be here. If I want four, what I will do is I will divide this canvas into two rows and two columns. First, second, third, and fourth. If I want 8, 16, 32, like this, you can go and you can create. Okay, even if you want 3 also, that's also possible. You just need to divide this row into 3 columns. How to do that? That's what actually we are trying to see. How to plot a multiple plots on this canvas. Okay, so whenever I say canvas, I hope everyone makes sense about that. Let me show you. So we use a command called as plt.subplot. because you want to plot multiple plots. That's why I'm going to make a subplot. I want to divide that canvas into one row and two columns. See, what am I doing? One row and two columns, and I want to plot first plot in the first row and first column. Okay, that is the meaning of this. See, if you want to go and run it, now see, you'll be able to see something like this. So first graph, one row and two column. First graph I want to do. So which graph I want to plot, which plot I want to plot, so that I am going to write down here. So plt dot plot, let's suppose, and let's suppose I will try to plot the previous graph itself x comma y, and maybe I will do something like this. So r dash means I will be getting the output in red color, but in dotted line. See? So first row and sorry, divide the canvas into one row and two columns, and in the first row and first column I want this graph. Similarly, I want another graph on this particular canvas. So what I can do is I can just copy paste these two lines and divide the canvas into one row and two columns, and in the second column I want another graph. Let's suppose I want y opposite x, y comma x, and this time I want to give some another color to it. Let's suppose same color I will be giving green color. Let's suppose. Now see, two plots I have to get here. So this is the command. Right? If you people want to try it out, I am sending it in the chat box. Just try your hands at this. I hope everyone is able to understand this. It's subplot. Now you divided this particular canvas into one row and two columns. Just try to understand that, because this is what we are going to require. This is what we are going to require. See, now this row is divided into one this first column and this second column. Try to understand this. Okay. Like this, I can plot multiple figures here, multiple plots. So that's a simple thing how you can plot the graphs. Next, I want to talk about some matplotlib concept, or I can say object-oriented concept. Matplotlib object-oriented method. Okay, OOP. I hope you people are aware about OOP concepts. Some of those not in detail, but maybe you might have heard about OOP concepts, right? So how to create an object? At least how to create an object, we might be knowing about that. And what's an object, right? So you go and you try to call a function, and you can create an object of that particular function, and all those things you can make use of, right? So basically, in real time, what we people do is we also make use of object-oriented concepts whenever you want to go and develop some models. Let me show you a simple example. See, we have a matplotlib package plt. So in plt, if you just type plt dot and press tab button, you will be getting a lot of methods. You can see a lot of methods are there, right? Later on you can go and you can actually explore all these things, but I am trying to talk about some of the important methods. For example, there is a method called as plt dot figure. Whenever I want to draw some figure, what I can do is I can just call this particular plt dot figure. Now what I can do is I can go and I can create an object of that. Right? So figure equal to plt dot figure. I can run it. See, I can run it, and it will show you that figure of the size this okay, with zero axis. Axis I told you, zero axis is nothing but what? Axis equal to the value of axis. If it is zero, it means it is row. Value of axis if it is one, it means it is column. So but we do not have row as well as column. Right? So there is just an object which we created, that is fig. So we name the object as fig. Now what I want to do is I want to plot a graph. So for that, what I will do is with this object fig dot, again, if you go here, if you press that button, here also you'll be able to see some of the methods. Let me just check it. Okay, fig dot, let me see, maybe let me write down like this. Fig dot, some method is there, add underscore axis. Now what I want to do, I want to add the axis, maybe x axis, y axis, or maybe I want to create a box inside which I will be trying to plot the graph. So what I will do here is I will write down some standard numbers, 0.1, then 0.1, comma 0.8, comma 0.8. Now what is this? So I will tell you each one of them. The meaning of each one of these is, see, this one is nothing but what? This is the, what you can say, the distance from left side. Okay, left side of the figure. This is the distance from the bottom. Okay, this 0.8 is nothing but the width, and this one is nothing but the height. And now important point about all these things: left, bottom, width, and height. The important point about all of them is that all these values range from 0 to 1 only. They should not be less than 0. They should not be greater than 1. Okay, let me show you what happens because of this. So left, bottom, width, and height. Later on you can go and you can try to change it. I'll be showing you the changes also. See if I go, okay, so what it is showing is, okay, I think I have used the brackets here, this parenthesis, because I am passing the list of these four elements. Okay, so let me now run it. Now see, you'll be able to see a box like this. So what has happened because of this dot add underscore access, I am able to create this kind of a box. Now inside that box, I am going to plot my figure or the plot. Okay, so I hope previous point people have understood. Now the thing is, I am going to create access. So see, access, whatever you are able to see, these are the axes, right? So what am I going to do is I am going to create an object of that answer. And if you go and if you try to see, I'm just assigning it to variable called as axis, this one. Okay, now and you will be able to see something like this. I want to plot the graphs. So what I will do is I will make use of that variable axis dot this plot method. Earlier we were using plt.plot, but now as I created the object called as access, so what am I doing is access.plot. X variable you are already aware about, y variable you are already aware of, right? And suppose red color I want x and y graph in red color. Now see, you will be able to see the box, and inside that box you will be able to see the graph of x and y. So with the help of this particular graph, right? Now just try to understand, if I want to go and if I want to give the x-axis and y-axis, so whenever we are going to make use of object-oriented method, always remember that we make use of something like object name dot set underscore x label. It is not x directly x label y label, set underscore x label and set underscore y label. Suppose x label I want to give as something like this. Again, same thing, value of x. If I run it, then you'll be able to see on x-axis, see value of x. And same thing I could have done it for y-axis also, right? So try to understand what's happening here. This is actually what are we trying to make use of is object-oriented methodology which we are trying to make use of. Suppose value of y, and you will be able to see the label for y. Same thing, whatever we have done earlier, right? And obviously, just let me just go here and let me just try out with title also. So you can have set underscore. So access dot set underscore title, right? And I can give a title as graph of x and y, something like this. And then run it. And see, you are able to see this one. And if you do not want to see this kind of a thing, just let's try out with this particular thing. Whatever you were trying to do earlier, right? PLT dot show. PLT dot show. And now see, you will be able to see a graph. So why am I discussing about this kind of object-oriented method? Because it saves a number of lines of code. That's why this is very useful. Create the object once and use that object very well, right? So even though some people feel that it is more complicated code, but there is an advantage of using this kind of thing, right? Do not worry if you are not good at coding or something like that. Don't worry at all. That one, see, let me show you very simple thing. There is a official documentation, official page of MATLAB, which is available. And even you don't have to write down the code. Let me tell you. See, I will show you a simple example. For example, if you go to this particular site, matplotlib.org, matplotlib.org. If you just go to this one, see, this is the official page. This is the official page of matplotlib. Now, why I say that you don't have to write down the code, you don't have to write down anything. See, if you just go here and if let me just highlight this particular thing, your example is written. I hope people are able to see my cursor. See this one. If you just go and if you try to click on that examples, you are going to get a lot of examples for different types of plots. Whatever the type of a plot it is, you will be able to see code for that. Suppose, see, even animations are there, 3D graphs are there, everything is possible. And let me show you why you don't have to worry about the code. Obviously, there are some packages sometimes you need to install, but everything will be given here itself. You can check it. See, the list is very long. all the types of jobs, whether you talk about mathematics, you talk about physics, you talk about machine learning, deep learning, medical data, you talk about anything, each and every example is given. See, pie chart and all these things, everything is possible. Something like this. So you just need to what? You just need to do what? You just need to refer this kind of a code and make the changes accordingly. Okay? So this kind of 3D surface plots are also possible. You might have studied subjects like graphics and all those things, right? So yeah, you might have drawn those diagrams also. So maybe suppose if someone is there who is working, who's a mechanical engineer, right? And he is working on some projects related to car or gates of a car. So yeah, he needs to design something, something like that. He needs to design something. Right? So for that, he might require this kind of graph. So see, you can check it. Even this kind of thing, animations are also possible. So suppose let me just click on this particular graph, this Firefox. Now I want to design this kind of a thing. So I will have to write down the code. I do not know how to write down the code. So I just click on that example. So what I will do is I will just copy paste this particular code. See, I will just go here. I will copy this code and I will come to my notebook. Let me check whether it gives me the output. See, this is the code, right? And let me run it. Now see, I got this particular output. My point is that if someone thinks that okay, we need to write down the code and something like that, no, you just need to understand the concept. That's it. You can see it, right? So I just plotted it within a second. So like this, you can plot any types of graphs. What you need to do is just go here and just spend some time on this particular page. If you people also want to check it, I'm just sending the link in the chat box to everyone. Just try to see that. See, I send the link in the chat box to everyone. You can go and refer that, and you can try out any graph. For some graphs, if it is giving you some error, you need to install some dependencies. It might happen. Okay, but see, everything is possible. Right? Even though I am talking about very basic things, but yes, you cannot. You don't have to wait. Actually, you can go and you can try out all the things today itself. Right? Okay, so moving forward, this is how you can create multiple plots. This is how you can make use of object-oriented method to plot the graphs. Right. Now, let me show you what is the use of this kind of a method. See, this code we have written, right? This particular code we have written, and this code which we are discussing, this one has given me this kind of output. I hope till this point everyone understood. Now, what if I want to have multiple graphs or two graphs here? If what if I want to have one more plot on this bigger plot? Suppose let me say I want one more plot somewhere here, right? So is it possible? So yes, I can have it is possible. That's why we make use of object oriented method. Let me show you. See, what we can do is we have already created this particular figure, created the object. Now here what I have done is access equal to figure dot add underscore access. Right. Now let me show you the difference. Let this code as it is, and let me show you the difference between this code and the next code which we are trying to write up. As I want two diagrams. Inside this, one more I want. So what I can do is instead of creating only one access, I will create two access. So access one is equal to figure dot add underscore access. Right? Suppose I will be giving this will be my main axis. This will be my bigger graph. Okay. Here, what I will do is I will try to write out the same code, same line for the next axis, which I want inside this particular graph. So what I need to do is I just need to go and change these numbers. Because I told you this is nothing but what left, bottom, width, and height. So from left I want this distance. From bottom I want suppose bottom I will take it from up 0.5 I will take it as. Suppose let me make it as 0.4. Let me make it as 0.3. Right? So it's just a trial and error method. Now after this, what I can say is I can plot the axis for larger graph. This one. So this will be for what? Larger figure axis. This will be larger figure axis. This code will be for larger figure axis. So instead of this axis, what I had done is for larger figure axis one. I will just make a change here. Axis one. Right? Axis one dot plot this particular thing. Here also axis one. Here also axis one. Axis one dot set title. Right? So till this point, everything is going to be the same. Now what I will do is I will just copy paste this particular code for the smaller axis or the smaller graph or the graph which I want inside those bigger ones. See what I will do is access to, access to, access to, and access to. Right, and just to differentiate them, what I will do is I will just make the color as blue. Okay, and maybe it is suppose another graph y opposite x. Earlier was x opposite y. So y opposite x, something like this. And yeah, now what I can do is I can go and let me change this one also, y opposite x. Okay. Now let me go and let me try out this one. Now see, earlier it was like this. Now inside this graph, inside the bigger one, I have the smaller one also. This is the smaller one. So this is the code for larger one, and this is the code for smaller one. For the insert figure, inside figure, right? That is this one. So this is how you can make it of object-oriented method. That's why it makes the things easier. Okay. And now let me show you. First of all, let me save this particular code to you people also, so that if you want to try it out, you can try it out. Okay, so I'm pasting the code in the chat box. Just those who want to try it out, you can copy this. Now see, let me show you. If I make a changes here, suppose, or maybe let's suppose if I make a change in the height, let me increase the height 0.3. Let me make it as 0.6, and then run. Now you will see that this particular graph height has increased. Inner graph can check it, right? So I will make it as suppose also 0.3. Now it is properly inside the bigger one. Suppose let me change the width. Let me make it as 0.4. Let me increase more. Suppose let me make it as 0.8. Suppose. Let's see. Now see, width is increased for this inside graph. So like this you can make the changes. Okay. So I hope you will play with this code and you will try to understand the things. You will try to explore on them. Okay. So this is a really good thing, and as I told you that the code is actually customizable in case of Matplotlib. So yeah, obviously you have to just go and understand. Okay, so that's how you can create a graph inside a graph. It's possible. So subplots. Let's try to talk about. See, right now we have talked about something called as if I want to divide figure. If I want to divide a canvas into two parts or different parts, I can make use of plt dot subplot. Okay, but there is something called as plt dot subplots. See, I talked about subplot, but now there is something called as subplots also. What is this? So it will actually the PLT dot subplots object will act as a more automatic access manager. So it will take care for number of things. I mean to say, see, let me show you this particular code. See, what we can do is instead of creating the objects separately, what we can do is we can just try to save the number of lines of code. So here I have written figure is equal to PLT dot figure, right? So PLT dot subplots I want to make you know. PLT dot subplots. So there is subplot and there is subplots. How you can make it? See, instead of writing axis and figure differently, what I will do is figure comma axis is equal to subplots. That's what I can do, right? And that's why there is no need to make use of this particular line. Okay. So what I can do is now axis dot plot, axis dot set underscore x level, axis dot set underscore y level, and axis dot set title, and we'll just sort it. Now see, you'll be able to see the graph. So what has happened because of this subplots, no need to write down separate line for axis. So it is going to get two objects at a time, right? And obviously, then even you can specify number of rows and number of columns when creating the subplots. What I mean to say is, see, this particular line, whatever I have written, figure comma axis, this line. Here itself you can specify the size of your figure. So figure comma axis is equal to PLT dot subplots, right? Here I can mention how many number of rows you want. So n rows is equal to, suppose I want one row, comma, number of columns, how many columns you want, n columns. Suppose I want 5 columns, and then run. Now see, you will be able to see something like this, right? So obviously there is overlap, but that can be removed. Let me check it as 2. Now see, 1 row and 2 columns. So what happens because of this subplots method? It is going to save number of lines of code. That's why it also does the same thing, but yes, definitely it saves number of lines of code. Right? So if you want to see what is this axis is actually, axis is nothing but array. See, actually it is an array only. This axis is actually an array only. If I go and if I have to show it, you see, it's an array. That's why we discussed numpy first. So it's an array. How many elements are there? First and second. That means you can create two graphs. Let me show you the use of this. See, we have created this particular variable. Just a minute. see, we created this particular thing, access. Now, see what I will do. For some variable I in this access, just now I showed you. Access is an array, so I can iterate to that with the help of for loop. So for I in access, now what I can do is I can go and I can write down similar code. This kind of code I can write down. Let me show it to you. See, for I in access, indentation will be taken care of Jupyter. Okay, for first line, this one we will take care. This one, this one, this one, this one. Now, what am I doing for I in access? So I will have to change this to I, whatever it means, I dot plot x, y, and whatever the color I want. Okay? So similarly here, I is just a variable. That's why. I hope people are understanding this, because this for loop, with the help of this for loop, what we can do is we can iterate to this particular array, right? And we going to make it of this here. Let me run. Now what has happened? What has happened? Because of this, the result is stored in this particular figure. Let me show it. Now see why it has plotted two similar graphs, because we have two elements in access. See, if I would have done it like this, access is equal to number of columns is equal to suppose 4. Number of columns 4. Let me run it. Now I will get four columns. If I go here, I will get 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I run this for loop, I will get 4 graphs. Same graph plotted 4 times. See, same graph plotted 4 times. So that's how you can store your actually save your number of lines of code. Now, obviously, there's an overlap, but yeah, this overlap can be easily removed with something called as type underscore layout. Okay, so I will show it to you how actually you can go and you can save it. See, suppose what I can do is here, let me write down it like this. Dot type underscore layout. Yeah, this one. This is going to take care of all the access. So I think I will have to make it of this in for loop itself. See, like this. Just check it. So why it is not showing me? Figure PLP dot layout. Here. Figure size, access. Okay, I will have to run this particular thing once again. Figure. See. Where is that? Okay, this one. One column and one row and 4 columns have. Let me run this once again. Okay. Access now is having 4 elements. Now what we have written is this particular thing I should have written. This particular thing I should have written here itself. I am just combining everything at one place in one cell. Okay. Because I want to tighten those figures. I do not want the figures like this, overlapping on each other. That's why I have made this particular right here, so that you will understand what is figure actually, and to which figure you need to apply this particular method. Figure dot tight underscore. Let me run. Now see, earlier it was overlapping on each other. Now there is no overlap. So because of this reason, if you people also want to try it out, just check it in the chat box. I am sending the code. Okay, and anyway, everything you will be getting as usual. All these notes, whatever I am trying out, all these things I will send to you. Okay, so this is a simple thing how you can make the object oriented, and obviously there are things like you can actually adjust the size of the figure, you can adjust the ratio of the figure, aspect ratio, and there is something called as DPI, dots per inch. You can actually adjust. Suppose, see, what I am going to say is if I create an object, DPI is equal to PLT dot figure. Figure is a method which we have seen. PLT dot figure. What I can do is, what is the figure size I want? I can give an argument that is called as fixed size. So I want figure size in this way. Suppose 8 is the width and 4 is the height. 8, 4. And dots per inch means how much, what I can say, how much visibility you want for that image, how much dark. DPI is nothing but what? Dots per inch. Dots per inch I am giving suppose 100. Okay. So obviously, if I run it here, obviously we will not be able to see output. We will be just able to see that it's object and the location where it is going to be stored. Right? So figure size is this, that is this, with zero axis because we haven't made use of this, right? But I want to make use of the figure size. So what I will do is this one I have created, this figure object I have created. Now with the help of this one only, what I can do is, okay, so while creating this figure object, I will have to create axis. Okay, figure and axis. Now what I can do as usual, so same code, whatever we have used earlier for axis, I will just try to copy paste this particular code, right? But the thing what will happen here is you can adjust the size of your figure. See, axis dot plot x y red, axis dot set label, set x label, set y label, set title, right? And if you do not want this, you can just remove it. Let me run it. Why is it showing me error? Cannot figure object. Let me see. Figure size is given. Okay, DPI is given. Okay, so here for this figure size, see, I'm completing this particular bracket. Okay, see, just a minute. This one I have made use of figure. It should be subplots because I am creating two objects. See, I am creating two objects. That's why it should be subplots. So this fixed size option you can see now because of this size of the figure I can adjust. Suppose I want this height as, let's suppose 8. You can check the figure. See, height is increased. Right? Suppose I want it as 3. You can check the height of the figure. Now height is decreased. Right? Suppose I want to decrease the width also. Yeah, that's possible. 4 3. Now see, you can check. So you can have a control in short answer. And suppose if I want to save this figure. So as we created this particular object, I want to save it in some format. So what I can do is fig dot save. Fig dot save fig. So with which name I want to save that particular figure? Let's suppose I want to save it as maybe suppose Pune, and which format? JPG. So or maybe PNG, whatever it may be. Okay, I will have to check it first or not. But where it is going to be stored? Let me check my working directory. My working directory is C user user. So let me save it. Okay. Now I will go to this particular path C user and I will check whether there is a file with this name created or not. So I'm already use C user and what is the name? Pune.png. Now see this figure, right? I will just go here, open it with photos and let's see. So that's what I was trying to do. So you can check that it is going to be saved in whatever the format you want. I've saved it in JPG. You can save it in some other format. See, this is the figure which we were talking about. This one. Okay. So if you really want to check whether it is created today or not, just go here, properties, and you can see that yes, it is created on 26 Feb and the time until launch. Definitely, this is the file which we created just now. So yes, this is how you can create the files. And see, now the next part is about how to create the legends, how to save the file, right? How to save the file in different formats. So these are like fancy things. Let me see. Let me give a simple example. Let me create a last figure here. See, suppose I am creating an object called as figure, like plt dot figure. Plt dot figure is another. Yeah, see. So I am just creating an object of that. Now here I am creating access. Right. So here what I am doing is fig dot add underscore access. This is the method which we have seen earlier. Now I want to give all those things: left, bottom, suppose width and height. After that, just plot it. Axis dot plot. Now what I want to plot? I want to plot a graph of x comma x star 2. This is the one I want to plot. Now here let me write it down. I want to talk about the legend. I hope you people understand what we mean by legend. Okay, in many figures you might have come across this. Suppose let me plot another graph, x star 3. Okay, and let me run. So something like this I'm getting two graphs, one in orange color and one in blue color, but I'm not able to identify which graph is for this first graph and which color is for this first graph and which color is for this second graph. So there itself I can make use of something called as legend. Ax dot legend. So let me make this. No hand. Okay. So it is giving me error. No handles with labels found to put in the legend. So for that, what we need to do is we need to tell what is the label you need to give in the legend for the legend. So here what we can do is we can add a argument called as label. Okay, and label. Suppose I want to for the first graph I want to give the label as x star star 2, right? And similarly for the second graph I want to give the label as x star star 2. Sorry, x star star. Then A is got it. Now let's see. Now see, are you people able to see this legend on the left top side? By default, it will be on the left top side. If you want to change the position of that, you can. See, by default, it is here. If you want to get this particular legend here, you can. Here you can. Wherever you want, you can take that. Okay. So for that, what you have to do is in AX of legend, you just need to mention the position. Right? For example, see, if I just want to move it to this legend, if I want to move it to upper right corner, so what I will do is I will write down LOC is equal to 0 and let's run. So by default it is on upper left corner. Let me check. Let me make it as 1. Yeah, upper right corner is 1. Right? If I make it as 2, now see it is on this position. Upper left corner. If I make it as 3, now it should be at bottom. See here it is. And once I make it as 4, I think it will be on the right, lower right. So that is the only lower right. That means by default it is 0. 0 is going to put it at the perfect location, you can say, according to the graph. Okay, so this is how you can add legend. Okay, now the remaining part in case of matplotlib is it's all about fancy thing that we are not going to require that much in our applications, right? And even if you people want to understand the remaining part, anyway, I'll be providing you all the notes which are required because there is no explanation required for that particular part, right? So without discussing that particular part, what we can do is we can go to the next part. Let me show you what are the things which you people need to do. See, I will show you the notes itself. See here, this notes I am going to share. Matplotlib concepts lecture. This one I am done. This was the thing. Yes, Shivam, you can put it in center. You can put it in center, but what happens is if you make it as 0, if you make it as location equal to 0, this is the thing which will put it into center. If there is no space available for it on the left side, right side, left upper, left bottom, right bottom, then you can put it in center. Okay, so by default, location equal to 0 is going to put it at such a location which is where the space is available. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the only 4 locations available. Okay. So see people, what I was talking about is till this point I hope everyone has got an idea about matplotlib. No, I'll be sharing this particular file with you. So whatever I have discussed, everything is mentioned in this file. Okay, matplotlib concepts. Now your job is what? I will tell you what you need to do. See, again there will be assignment based on this. See, I have discussed till this point legends. Okay, now your job is to complete from this point. Setting the color, line width, line depth. Why am I not discussing this? Because there is no logic behind it. There is nothing logical here. It is just straightforward thing. It is just a fancy. So I will not waste time here. Instead of that, I can move and I can discuss some other thing, right? So see, but I am providing you all these things. And one more thing I have done is I have just incorporated everything at one place. Whatever the type of a line, whatever the type of a marker, whatever the font, whatever you want, what I have done is see, this code is going to be like really, really helpful. This code is going to give all the lines of all the types of lines here. Let me show you. See, just refer. See, this is nothing difficult. It's the same thing whatever I have discussed, but I just try to incorporate everything at one place so that it will be easy for you people to understand how to make your graph fancy. So those fancy things, I have given one more example. So this line, this first line, whatever you are able to see, this you can plot. So what was that purple color? See with this line, with this. Suppose let me show you. Suppose let me make a change here. LW is nothing but what? Line width. Let me increase the width, line of the width as 5. Let's look at it. Are you able to see this fourth line? See, width of the line is increased. See this fourth line. I need to say, try to understand how to understand this code. See, how to make up this code. In which line I made the change? This line. So this line is responsible for this line. Right? Let's suppose I make a change in line width of this. Let's make it as 10 and run it. Now see, are you able to see? So just try to understand. This is for your purpose. Okay. So maybe if you want to draw some lines like this, marker and all those things, you can refer this. That's what I was trying to tell you. Okay? So you can just refer it as notes. And yes, what is the plot range? Some examples are given to you. Special plot types. Scatter plot is anyway. We are going to talk about scatter plot in detail in package called as C1. But to plot a scatter plot, you have command called as plt.scatter x and y. So it is just going to give you a plot like this. Okay, x and y. Again, you can have labels x label, y label. Histogram, if you want. I hope you people understand this. Range 1, 1100. It means what? Range 1, 1000 is going to give you 1000 numbers. Sample is what? Sample command is going to take 100 random samples from these 1000 numbers. Try to understand. Okay. And for those, and then these 100 numbers you are storing it in data. And for that data, you are trying to plot a histogram with plt.hist command. See, if I want to show it to you by breaking, let me show you. See, this one you understand, right? Range of 1, 1000. I mean to say that I am just trying to create the data. That's it. Now, what this range of 1000, 1 to 1000 does, it is going to generate 1000 numbers. Now, what this sample method does, sample method is going to take 100 random samples from those 1000 numbers. So, for this sample to run, let me check why it is not running. Sample is not defined, it is saying. So, okay, because I did not run this one, right? This particular input form. So I will have to run this particular input. Sample is again a method available in Python in random. So let me run. Now see, you got 100 random samples from the numbers 1 to 1000. 100 random samples. And for the 100 random samples, what am I doing is plt.histogram. I am just trying to draw a histogram for that. So this is how you can draw a histogram. And obviously you will be having different options here. For example, you have the option called as beans. Beans equal to 10. So if you want to decrease number of beans, you can decrease. If I make it as beans equal to 100 for each level, then I want to have those beans. See, your graph will be something like this. And anyway, in C1 actually we will be talking about histograms. So I meant to say, please refer this. And this type of a graph is called as box plot. This box plot I will be discussing in detail in C1. So you don't have to worry about this box plot here. Okay? This is very important for visualization. And yes, all the links which can be very helpful for you people are given in these notes. I hope you people will go through this particular file. After that, I am going to share this exercise. And if you want to go and explore more and talk about advanced matplotlib, you can always go. I will be sharing this file also. But for this course, what are we going to require is this one, and this one I have already discussed. If you want to go further and discuss, definitely you can refer this. Okay. So I'll be sharing 1, 2, 3, 4 IQNB files related to matplotlib today. Okay. With this, let me move to the next part, and that is nothing but the important package, and that is nothing but pandas. Let me start our discussion with pandas. So I will continue with this particular IQNB file itself. Let me add some cells. See, matplotlib is nothing difficult. Okay, you just need to go and you just need to explore the code. That's it. So there should not be any confusion, right? But still, if anyone is having any doubt, you can raise your doubt. If you have those who are trying out, right? But yes, pandas package which we are going to discuss, that's what maybe I think that is going to be very useful. To start discussion about pandas package. Pandas can do a lot of things. Pandas can be used to fetch any type of a data in Python. It may be from text file, Excel file, maybe from some HTML page, maybe real-time data if you want to fetch. All those things you can do with the help of pandas. So in pandas, I am going to discuss about basic topics first, like what is a series? Then what is the data frame? How to handle missing data in Python with the help of pandas. How to group by the things, how to analyze the data, how to join, how to merge, how to do different operations, and how to fetch different types of data from different sources with the help of pandas files. These are some of the things which we are going to talk about with the help of pandas files. Okay, so let's talk about first concept in case of Python, and that is in case of pandas, and that is nothing but series. Series is like, you can consider series as one column of the table, and you can complete table you can take it as data frame. Okay, so how you import pandas? Import pandas as PD. Using PD is a general practice for pandas, right? So I am also going to make the PD as a alias for pandas. So see, you can see in my case it is running. Now let me show you how you can convert everything into a data frame or a series with the help of pandas, and what actually a series is. For now, you can take series as a column. See, let me show it to you. Suppose if we have a table like this, okay, in table these are different columns. So this is your table. Now consider this complete table as a data frame. What is data frame? How it looks like in Python? That's what we are going to see pandas. So this complete table is a data frame, and this column is called as series. This column is called as series. So each column in a table you can take it as series. So that's why I'm trying to start with series first. So that what I'm doing is I'm going to create some variables. Like I will create a labels variable. Labels is nothing but what? Labels is just a list where I'm going to have some character elements like A, B, and C. Okay, this is my labels. So it's just a list, right? Similarly, I'm going to create another list. I will just name it as my list. In this list, I'm going to have some numbers. Like for example, let's say 10, 20, 30. This is another list I have created. Third thing I'm going to create is, it should be called, okay. Third thing I am going to create is array. So how to create the array? NumPy I already imported. So np.array. Now what am I going to do is I am going to pass a list as an input to this particular array. And let me suppose write down 100, 200, 300. This is my array. So that array is converted into this particular list is converted into array. Okay. And the last thing I am going to have a dictionary. So let me create a dictionary with this key and value pair. So A is having the value as suppose 10. A key. Let's suppose B key is having the value, and you people also can create. Okay. B is having the value as 20, and C key is having the value as suppose 30. And let me run. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Maybe I missed something. A colon. Okay, D is equal to, right? Now, if you people also want all these things, you can create in your case, right? Now let me show you. Even you can create it at one location. Okay. So all these things I have done. Let me show you labels. So labels is a list. My list is a list. Then what is it? What else? Array is an array, and D is a dictionary. So these are the four data structures we have, right? Now let me show you how to convert a list into a series. So I am going to make some pandas package pd.series. Okay, what I want to do, I want to convert list into series. Let's suppose I am going to convert. See, if you want to see which are the options it accepts, just get your cursor here, press shift tab, and you will be able to see which are the arguments which series can accept. So it can accept data, it can accept index, data type, name, copy, pass path. So important one is data. Always remember, by default, first one is data, second one is index. So what am I going to do is I am going to pass data is equal to, suppose, my list. This list I am going to pass. I am not going to give any index. Now see, this is called a series. Now series is actually similar to NumPy array only. The only difference between series and NumPy is that in case of NumPy, you can index NumPy only with this index, default index available. But in case of series, you can index a series with the help of this default index as well as label. What do I need to say is, you have another way to index a series. You can index a series with default index, but plus with label. See, what I meant to say is pd.series. Let's suppose, see, even if I do not write down data equal to, but first argument is by default data. Suppose first argument, so suppose data is my list. Okay, and try to understand whatever you people are able to see here. This particular thing is representing your data, and this thing is representing what? This is representing the actual index. But this index is default index. If I want something else as an index, yes, I can have that as an index in my series. That's what differentiates series from numpy. Let me show it to you. Suppose, see here, if I go now, second argument index. I want labels as index. What is the value of labels? I already showed it to you. See, labels value is ABC. That means instead of 0, 1, 2 now, instead of 0, 1, 2, my index is going to be ABC. Because I have given if index is equal to labels. C, A, B, C. And data is 10, 20, 30 only. Right? Same command I could have written it like this also. PD dot series. I can directly write down my list, comma, label. That's it. I can run it. No need to write down data equal to or index equal to. By default, series, this series method understands that first argument is always a data and second argument is always a index. Right? So this A, B, C is the index now and 10, 20, 30 is a data. Let me show it to you how to convert array into series. So yes, same thing, exactly same thing. In our case, our array name is AR. I want to convert this into series, so I can go here p dot series. I can pass array data. Array data is 100, 200, 300. Now so you can check it. That array is converted into series. Here also, if I want something else as an index, so I want labels as an index. So yes, you can have it. Right? Even I could have written it like this also. Suppose pd dot series, and I want data as labels. What is labels? ABC. My data is going to be ABC, and I want array as AR. I want index as AR. See, now this is the index and this is the data. So try to understand what's happening here, right? So this is how you can convert array into series. Similarly, talking about dictionary, yes, that's also possible. Pandas dot series. What is my dictionary name? My dictionary is now in my dictionary. What I was having in the dictionary D, if I want to show it to you, see, dictionary D looks like this: A10, B20, C30. Always remember, for dictionary, these keys are going to act as indexes by default. Only for dictionary, remember, in case of dictionary, these keys are going to act as indexes. Okay? Remember this point about dictionaries. And even series can actually detect if there is any keyword also. Suppose, let me show it to you. Let me show it to you. pd.series if I do, and if I pass the list of some keywords, series can detect it. Actually, there is no need to pass, but just to show you. Print, sum, and length. Now it understands that print is a built-in function. Sum is a built-in function. Print is a built-in function. Length is a built-in function. So series can understand that, right? Okay. Now let's see how to make use of index. How to make use of index in case of series. So let me create a data. Series 1 is equal to, suppose, pd.series. Okay. Before that, let me ask you people. Any doubt anyone in this? Whatever we have discussed till now in case of series, any doubt, any question you have? Because now I am going to talk about series. And for that I am going to require some data. I am creating the data. Yes, anyone, any doubt here? Can you just declare me back? Yes, no. Okay, because otherwise it should not happen that I will go on discussing the things and you will not get anything. Right? See, Pandas is the only package for which we require some time. Once we are done with these packages, then other things will not require much time. Okay. So pd.series, and what am I trying to do is I am trying to explain you how to make use of index in case of Python. That's why I am creating a data. So what am I doing is pd.series. My data, see, is 1, 2, 3, 4. So even if I do not write down data equal to, that's also okay. Suppose data equal to, even if I have written it like this, 1, 2, directly, that's also. No problem then. Index. Index equal to, no, I want to give an index something meaningful, some meaningful index I want to give. So I will write on USA as the first element in the list. Let's suppose Germany, second index. I want to give USSR. This is a very famous example actually, which I am trying to put here, and Japan. So what's going to happen? Now I am going to see a series one. Series one. So series one looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the data. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the data. And USA, Germany, USSR, Japan. This is my index. Similarly, what am I going to do is I will create one more series. And I will name it as series 2. Series 2. And in series 2, what I will do is I will write down data as 1, 2, and 5, 4. And index as USA, Germany, and instead of this USSR, what I will do is I will write down, let's say, right, and then I will run it once again. So you can check it. Series 1 and series 2 they are ready. Now what if I go and if I try to add them, for example, or before, or let me show you to index. As I am talking about index, let me show you. See, let me access. I want to access this. What I can do is series 1 of USSR. It will give you one. So what was that? USSR 3. See, this is how I can access. This is one way you can access the elements in case of series. USSR series 1 of USSR has given me 3 because this is data. USSR is the index. Another way is what? See, this is at index 0, this is at index 1, and this is at index 2. So even if I could have done it like this, series 1 of 2 and data, same value I am going to get. Why is it happening? Because the difference between the numpy arrays and the series is that in case of numpy array, you can make the this index also 0, 1, 2, 3. So to get this particular thing, what I can do is series 1 of 2, or I can write it down as series 1 of USSR. This is a label. This label can also act as a index here. That's the difference between a series and a numpy. I hope you people are able to understand whatever I am trying to talk about here. Now, just try to compare these two. USA is present in both. Germany is present in both. USSR is present in series 1 but not in series 2. That means index USSR is present in series 1 but that is not there in series 2. And Japan is present in both. Similarly, Italy is present only in series 2. Now, what will happen if I go and if I try to do series 1 plus series 2? So, according to the index, it is going to add the things. USA, you will get 2. So, my result is going to be what? If I do series 1 plus series 2, just try to understand it. Series 1 plus series 2 if I do. So, USA. What am I going to see is USA 2. Germany. What am I going to see is Germany as 4. Right, 2 plus 2. Italy, USSR is not there. So what will happen? 3 plus, here there is no USSR in case of series 2. So 3 plus null. I do not know whether you people are aware about it or not. Null means nothing. Any guess? Null means nothing. Do you have any idea? Or maybe in database subjects you might have studied about this. People who are from third year, I think they might be knowing about it. 3 plus null is what? Can anyone tell me? Those who have heard about it. Null is also called as any. Null means nothing. Can anyone tell me what is 3 plus null? What will be the result? Empty. I can say empty value. Any value. Null value. So what will be the result of 3 plus null? Okay. So all of them they are saying 3. So always remember, any arithmetic operation with null or na always results into null or any other. Because we do not know what is the size of nothing. We don't know how it looks like. So maybe in databases you will understand it. Okay. So it is null. Always remember. That means what will happen is USSR I am going to get it as null. For Japan, what will happen? 4 plus 4, 8. Similarly for Italy, it will be NA or null. So this is going to be my result. Series 1 plus series 2. Let me show you. Here I will go and I will try to add series 1 plus series 2 and let's run it. Now see, Germany I am getting 4, Italy NAN means not a number, Japan 8, USA 2, USSR NAN. Now see, So always remember, if you go on trying to add this kind of a thing, and if there is no index matching, your result is going to be any of them. Okay? Try to understand this. This is very, very important when you deal with the data science. Right? So, and one more thing, you might be having a question that why this is first and then this and then this. Just take the alphabetical orders: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Right? Alphabetical order. That is the answer for this. I hope you people have understood the how the indexes are being used, right? In case of series. Now let me talk about the important topic in case of pandas, and that is nothing but data frames. What did I tell you earlier? I told you that data frame, you can imagine it as a table, and each column in a data frame you can imagine it as a series. So data frames are actually called as workhorses of pandas and are directly inspired by one language. I don't know whether you people are aware about it or not. There is a language called as R language. So data frames in case of Python are actually inspired by data frames in R language, R programming language. If you understand Python, R will be easy for you. Okay, many of the things will be easily get. Okay. So we can think of data frame as a bunch of series objects which are put together to share the same index. Okay, so let's see what is the data frame now. Let's try to have some of the examples. So see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some data set. So you might be knowing, if I ask you what is the output of brand N 5,4, suppose 5,4, so it's going to generate 20 values, right? So I will have to do what? np dot random dot rand n 5,4. So it will generate 20 values, two dimensional level, right? 2D. Now this is what I am going to make use of in my data frame because I do not have a data right now. And I think you people might be knowing this, right? A, B, C, D, E. This is what? Can anyone tell me what is this? Whatever I have written. What type of a data type it will be having? Yes, absolutely right. As it's written in single quote, it's a string. Now what will happen is, if I try to write down like this, can anyone tell me what will be the output? What will be the data type of the output of this? Can anyone tell me? Yes, right, absolutely right. List. It will be list. So see, I have created a list. So what am I going to do is I am going to make use of a command pd.dataframe. The way I use pd.series. So I am going to make use of pd.dataframe. So see, pd.dataframe. So pd.tab button. If I go, if I try to press it, I will get pd.dataframe. Now in dataframe there are different options again. There is a data, there is an index. Data and index were there in case of series also. But in data frame, there is one more option that is called as columns. Okay, so that's what I am trying to give now. So what I want is pd.data frame. I want a data as this. I want to give data as this. Okay, so pd.data frame data is equal to this, comma. I want to give index. I want to give index as this list. Okay, that's why I'm passing this one. Comma. Similarly, columns. I want 4 columns because see why I have written A B C D E because I want 5 rows. Now similarly I want 4 columns like W, X, Y, and Z. Here also I will have to pass it as a list. So I will just split it because we know the output of the split is always in terms of a list. So what's going to happen is now I am going to get a table where I will be having indexes as A B C D E, rows as A B C D E, and columns as W, X, Y, Z, and my values will be according to this. That is my data. Let me run it. Now see, this is the data I have. I hope now everyone understood this because this is the data which I am going to make use of to explain you the remaining concepts. I will just assign it to df. Df stands for data. You can take any other variable. So I will just assign it to df. Now my data is in df. Here my data frame is df data frame is okay. And now I will be talking about different concepts like selection and indexing and so on. Let me show you. Suppose if I go here, if I try to write df of w, what df of w is going to do? Df of w is going to show you all the values from w bar. Shift enter. See 0.4 minus 1.01, 0.1, 1.27 minus 0.8. 0.4, minus 0. Minus 0.01, and so on. So df of w, this is how we do indexing in case of data frame, right? Suppose here it has shown only one column. I want to see two columns. Yes, that's also possible. That is, you can pass a list of columns, list of column names here. You can pass it actually. That's also possible in case of data. Let's suppose if I want, maybe suppose w and y I want. What I can do is I can pass a list of those columns. So what I want is w as well as I want y. So just make sure that that should be in single. W and y. df of w and y and then run it. Now see, from the data frame I will be getting w and y. See, it is not like that there is only this way to access the columns. That is this square brackets. There is another way that is called as this SQL like way we can say. Suppose I want df, I want y. What I can do is df dot y. Now see, it is also going to give you the same output. This one. But this way is not always recommended. We will go with this one only. This is like SQL, what we do in case of SQL, structured query language. But it is not recommended. This one is recommended. Okay, using square bracket is always recommended. Keep that in mind. I'm just trying to tell you this particular thing just for your knowledge. Okay, now what will happen is, see, if I go and if I let me show it to you this one first. This one. Now, can you people tell me what is the data type of this output? Whatever you are able to see, what is the data type of that output? Can anyone let me know about that? What do you think? If you understood whatever I told you earlier, you will be able to answer my question. Or if you have listened to me carefully, you will answer my question. df is my data frame and w is just a column of the data frame. So what is df of w? What is the data type of df of w? What type of data structure is it? If you remember my sentence, which I have repeated many times, absolutely right, Tabesh Aksha, right? It's a series. Because I told you, data frame is a collection of series. So if you want to check what is this, you can go and you can write out here, right? See, it's a series. It's a series. Try to understand that. Okay. So remember, that's why I told you that data frame is a collection of series. So this is my data frame. Now, suppose what if I now let's see different operations. Suppose I want to add a new column. I have W, X, Y, and Z, but I want to add a new column. Is that possible? So what I can do is df of new is equal to how I want to add df new column. Suppose I want to add new column like this. df of new is equal to df of W plus df of, let's say, Z. That means this type of a column is going to be added in this df data frame, that is new column, and what value it will be having? Addition of W and Z. Addition of W and Z will be there in new. Let me run it. Now, if I go and if I double check here, now let's see new column is added. Right? So this is how you can add a new column if you want in your data frame. Now, what if I want to remove that? Yes, you can. Just go here and just type df.drop. If I go and type df.drop, now which column I want to drop? I want to drop new column because the name of the column is new. That's why I'm giving the name of the column. But you need to tell pandas that it's a column. So yesterday, whatever you have learned in case of NumPy, how are you going to tell that it's a column? You want to do this operation on column, axis equal to 1. Right? So because of this axis equal to 1, it is going to understand that okay, I need to do this drop operation on column, not on row. By default, it will do it on row. Right? Row, I need to say index. By default, it will do an index. You see, if I go and if I run it now see that column is empty. This new is not there. I hope you people have understood this particular command. Okay, axis equal to 1. If I write on axis equal to 0, it will say that the row with the name new does not exist because axis equal to 0 means no. Okay, but even if I have removed it, let me show it. See, but see, second time if I check it, it is still there. What is the reason? So for that, what you need to do is there is a option. There is something called as in place. Always remember, whenever you want to do something for permanent, you always need to make in place equal to true. From where you will get it? Just go here, place shift tab, and you will see the default value of in place as false. See, the default value of in place as false. But if you want to make some action as permanent, always remember that you need to make in place equal to true. This time if I go and if I run df and if I check it now, And if I check it second time also, we will not see new column because that is permanently dropped. So that is because of in place. This is very, very important. Okay, in place. If you want something to take effect for permanent, always make in place equal to true. If you want to see whether there are options available or not, go here, page shift tab, and you'll be able to see all the arguments which are present in that particular place. Right? I hope all of you are making sense. Right? From all these things, whatever I am discussing, I will again repeat in between. If someone in doubt, please ask me. If you want me to unmute, I will unmute you. Just send me your question in the chat box. Let's continue. Now, so here you can see in place equal to 2. This is a good option. It's a good option to remember, right? But these operations I have done it on columns, whatever I should tell you. What if I want to remove the row? Yes, that's possible. So see what you can do is df dot drop. Now from df, suppose let me check. Let me suppose I want to remove this particular column. I want to remove this particular row, E row. Let's suppose E. Now obviously I need to tell it that I want to remove row. So I will do access equal to 0. Even if you do not do it, it will remove it because by default value of access is 0. That's all. So see, if I go and if I run it, now see, you will not see row E. But is it removed permanently? No. If you would have wanted to do that, you could have done what? In place equal to 2. Okay, that's how you can actually remember, right? So this is my DF. Let's move forward. Now, how to select? See, till now we have seen how to select the columns. Let's see how to select the rows. So always remember we use something called as DF, data frame name dot LOC. LOC stands for location. So DF dot LOC. Suppose I want row B. So this is how you can actually access row B. So it is going to show you see minus 1.01, minus 0.2, minus 0.27, minus 0.74. Minus 1.01, minus 0.23, minus 0.27, minus 0.74. That is second row amount. Right? So how you can index according to a row? Location. This is one way. df dot loc. Loc stands for location. Always remember. See, this is with the help of this particular index which is given, but there is one more index also. Right? 0, 1, 2, 3. This is 0th row, first row, second row, third row, fifth row. How to do that? That also we will talk about. Okay. First of all, let me show you some different options here. df.loc if I go. Suppose I want more than one value. That's possible. You can have more than one row. Suppose B I want. Suppose I want Z also. Sorry, not Z. What are the rows? B and D. Suppose I want. Because I am talking about rows, right? So it is giving me error. I think df.loc. What I have to do is B and D, right? Okay, so I think an issue has been here back again. Let me check. Because I am passing multiple rows. Yeah, now see. I got B row as well as D row. This is how I can get two rows at a time. Okay? And one more thing what you can do is df.loc. I want a particular value. Suppose if this is my data frame, from the data frame I want a value from, let's suppose B row and Y column. That is this value 0.27 mm. That's also possible. So B row and Y column, which we call it as subset. Okay? See 0.27 mm. So whether you want multiple rows, you want a value from particular column and particular row, that is possible. Even let's suppose if I want something like this, df.loc, I want multiple rows and multiple columns. That's also possible. So you need to use store brackets correctly. Suppose I want row as B as well as C. These two. So I need to check whether C is within a particular row. Yeah, everything is okay. So I want rows as B and C, comma. I want columns as W. It should be in single quote W. And suppose I want column as Z. See this one. Right? Now, can you people tell me what will be the data type of this output? If I go and if I check type of this, can you people tell me what is this? Is it a series or a data frame? What do you think? Is it a series or a data frame? Remember my sentence, what I told you, only one column is a series, more than one column is a data frame. Just answer this. Is it a series or a data frame? In my sentence itself, you can answer, right? Yes, guys, absolutely right. Yeah, all of you absolutely right. It is a data frame. Data frame is a collection of series. Right. So it means you people are there, right? Here what LOC, yeah, this is nothing but a data frame only. So this is how we can find out whatever is required. Okay. Now let's try to talk about some conditional selection according to some conditions if I want some data. Yeah, and one more point. I was talking about index location also. See, this is LOC, but there is something called as ILOC also. See, if this is my data frame, suppose I want to access this particular row. So what I can do is df.ILOC. ILOC stands for location. So df.ILOC of, let me check one. Now see what I got. One means what? B row I got. See, minus 1.01, minus 0.23, minus 0.27, minus 0.74. So I stands for index, always remain. So even though you are not able to see that index, but it is still there because at the start itself we have discussed in case of Python indexing always starts with 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so remember that particular thing. Now just let's try to talk about conditional selection. See, if this is my data frame, now I can go and I can apply different conditions on the data. Let's suppose if this is my data frame, if I write down, I want to see all the values where df is greater than 0. So it should be df and then run. Now see, wherever df value is greater than 0, at that place it is going to show me true. See, this value is greater than 0, so I got true. Let's suppose this value is less than 0, I got false. And so, right? So this it has actually shown me true and false according to the value of the df. What if I want to see the actual value? Yes, that's possible. So what I can do is this df greater than 0, I can actually index based on this. df of df greater than 0. Now I'll be able to see the actual. So wherever this condition is satisfied, I'll be able to see the value. Otherwise, I'll be able to see not a number, not a number, not a number. Right? This is how you can actually select based on the conditions. Similarly, I can have this particular condition modified further. Suppose if I want to check df of w, if I want to check only those data, only that data where df of w is greater than 0, right? Wherever df of w is greater than 0, that data only I want to check. See, so in case of w, this is the value which is greater than 0. B second value is false and last value is false. That's why I am getting second value false, last value false. Now based on this, I want to check only the data in my complete data frame which satisfies this condition. So what I will do is df of, and I will try to index based on this condition. Now it is going to show me only those rows. It is going to show me only those rows from my data frame for which w is greater than 0. Try to understand. That's the meaning of this. So there can be multiple questions which are possible on this data frames. Okay. See, it is going to show me only those rows where w is greater than 0. Those people who are aware about SQL, same thing you can do here. Even whatever Excel can do, all the things are possible in case of pandas with the help of different values. Right? So see, wherever this w is greater than 0 should be that. And from that also, even if I want particular data, yes, that's also possible. I can go and I can further index it. Suppose from all these things, let's suppose I want to see, so I want to see only those values of z for which w is greater than 0. See, only those values of z for which w is greater than 0 are these. That is this. Then further index it. Right? So there is no limit to it. The limit is, what is the limit for this? The limit is only your logic, how much you are going to apply. Right? It's not like that. This is the only thing which you can do. Even you can go and if you want multiple columns. So I want to see the values of suppose w as well as z for which maybe not w. I want to see the values of x. I want to see the values of x as well as z for which w is greater than z. You can do that. I think x is small, so I should also write down this x small here. So why it is okay, pure bracket affirmation because multiple values I am taking here. So see, always try to do all this. And so on is again the you can check. See, so show me only those values of the x and z for which w is greater than z. Show me only those values of x and z for which w is greater than z. So this is how you can actually go. And yeah, as I said, there is no limit. Even you can go and you can add whatever the conditions you want. Right? Suppose if I am writing down something like this, df of w. Right. Now what I want to check is again simply suppose df of w greater than 0. I can do what? I can go and I can add one more condition and I can check for y also. Ampersand is nothing but what? And. Right? So df of y. I want to check whether w is greater than 0 and df of y is greater than 1. If we run. What's missing here? Okay, I should put this particular thing into bracket yes. And this particular thing in the bracket. And let's say this one also. So df of w greater than 0 and df of y greater than 1. Now see, so there is no value which is satisfying both the conditions. That's why at every value I am getting false. So what I can do is I can even go and I can index based on this complete condition in the complete data set. So I am getting empty because there is no value in my data frame where w is greater than 0 and z is greater than 1. Both the conditions are satisfied, right? So instead of that, what I will do is I will check for this condition. So now see, there is only one row in the data frame where w is greater than 0 and y is greater than 0. That is this. See, w is greater than 0 and y is greater than 0. Only one row is there. If you check for others, w greater than 0, okay, y is not greater than 0. W is not greater than 0, w greater than 0, y not greater than 0. W greater than 0, y greater than 0. That's why this is the only one row you got as output. You can see, right? So this is how you can do what you can say selection and on the basis of those particular conditions. Right? Any doubt till this point? Anyone? Any doubt? Yes, can you please let me know because I can see now 50 people are there. I told you there is need for patience. Yes, when we started there were 60 people. From in last 5 minutes there were 55 people. Now there are 50. Okay, Kushi, no doubt. What about others? Any doubt? Anyone? Please ask. Do not keep that particular doubt to yourself because maybe I did not ask you in between whether you have doubt or not. But please feel free to ask them. Okay, people are saying no, no, no. So I will expect that the people have do not have any doubt. Okay, right? So with this, maybe I will not take. Okay, Dheeraj is asking. Dheeraj Kasi is asking me. Okay, sorry. Okay, Dheeraj, your question is difference between R and Python. See, I teach R as well as Python. That's why I can tell you one cannot say which one is better, whether R is better or Python is better. But let me be frank. If you talk about Python as well as R will be preferred by people who are from statistics background. It does not mean that people like us cannot do make use of R. Definitely you can. That is good. Python is like it can be used in any domain. You talk about machine learning, you talk about deep learning, you talk about data science, you talk about ethical hacking, you talk about web development, you talk about networking and security. There is no domain in which Python cannot be used. But specifically, R even can be used for stats. Python can be used for stats. R can be specifically used for statistics. Yes, definitely. You can implement machine learning algorithms. You can implement deep learning algorithms, and you can implement data science algorithms with the help of R. But compared to Python, if you can check, Python has more domains. It doesn't mean that R is not good. Absolutely, R is good. Both of them there. Now it's your choice which you need to make use of. But general perspective is that the people who are belonging to statistics background they might go with R. But I will again repeat that it does not mean that one can you people cannot learn R. That's why I told you. Suppose if you know R and if you go with Python, definitely concepts of R are going to help you to learn Python and vice versa is also right. So both of them they are good. Is it clear, Dheeraj? Or you have want to ask something else? Okay. So Vaishnav is asking what languages are good for scientific computing and visualization other than Python and R? Python and R are the only languages which are good. But it does not mean that other languages you cannot make use of. Definitely you can make use of, but because of the packages which are available in both of them, they are preferred. Even you can go and you can use some other language also. Or if you are asking me some good tools, definitely I can go and I can talk about Tableau. Tableau is a very good tool for visualization. There is something called as Power BI. Power BI is again very good tool, right? So and they are really easy. They are like if you are aware about SQL joins and all those concepts, it is just a drag and drop. So job perspective, if you ask me, both of them there. Python is also obviously it is there. So Python can do data visualization also, but there might be some people who might not favor coding. They can make it of them. But again, concepts are going to remain same. Whatever the concepts you are going to require here, some or more or less concepts you are going to require here. But there is no need for coding use. Just a drag and drop. But see, whether you talk about Tableau, whether you talk about Power BI, whether you talk about Python, all of them they can be used in data science, machine learning, deep learning, and so on. Because visualization is the part which is needed for all of them. So it does not mean that if you are learning data science or machine learning, that means you are only going to become data scientist. No, you can become Python developer, you can become R developer, you can become data analyst, business analyst, data scientist, machine learning developer. There are a lot of options. Even your job might be to just go and deeper the things, right? So is it clear? I think you asked that particular question. Vaishnav, okay, he's asking, isn't Tableau more business intelligence than data science? But business intelligence, you can say, is a part of data science only. Vaishnav, that's what try to make that concept clear. BI is just a part of data science. Are you getting my point? Yeah. That's why I told you that sometimes you will find out. Obviously, it can be used in business intelligence, but BI is a part of data science only. Data science is not something new. It was already there. All these are like sub parts of the data science only. BI, BA, business analyst, business intelligence, right? So, I hope it is making sense. Okay. So maybe let me talk about the last topic for today and then we will stop. So let me say, suppose, uh, okay, what was the last one we talked about? Yeah, okay, it's indexing, right? Now see, as we talked about indexing, and we have seen that indexing can be possible, obviously, for rows as well as the columns. Right. Now there is a concept of multiple indexing also, right? So there is a concept of multiple indexing. For example, let us suppose, obviously, we are going to require some data, and with that data, we can go and we can create multiple indexes. Even though multiple indexes might not be used in what you can say, many times it might not be used. It all depends on the data set. What are you going to make use of? In that case, only you can make use of multiple indexes. But generally, as such, it will not be used. Okay. So what I mean to say is, if this is your data frame, right? In this case, if you check, there is only this index A, B, C, D, E, right? What if I want to change that particular index and I want to save that particular, I want to reset that particular index? I can say, yes, you can do that. So what you can do is df dot reset underscore index. See what will happen because of this command. Try to understand. Right now my index is this. Because of this particular command, this index is going to act as one of the columns of this particular data frame here, and your index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, now this index, which was earlier index, now it is one of the columns. See, it was bold earlier. Now it is like this. So now this is actually one of the columns of your data, and your actual index is now. So this ABCD is not acting as an index. It has happened because of this reset underscore index. Now what I want to show it to you is, I want to show you how to change the index. Suppose I want to make Z column as the index of my data. How to do that? That's what I want to explain to you. So for that, what am I doing is, I am going to create a string. Like suppose some meaningful names I will make it. California, New York, Washington, some city names I am just trying to make use of here. Okay, and what I will be doing is, I will be making use of this particular thing as an index for my data frame. For that, first of all, what I need to do is, what is the output of this? Output of this one is this one. Listen. I will just try to add it, I will assign it to variable new index. Now what am I going to do is I am going to add this new index as a new column in the data frame here. How to add it as a new column? So you know that. Df. Let me name that particular column as states. So df of states is equal to new index. That's it. If I go and if I try to check df, I will see that it is states. Right? Now, what I want is I want to say this one. Now, what is my index? Right now, my index is right now my index is ABCD because I did not use in place equal to. So instead of this ABCDE index, I want this as an index, this states column as an index for my data set. This is what I want to do. Okay. So for that, so if I go and if I check here once again, okay, it is states is already here. So for that the command is df dot set underscore index. Which column I want as an index? States. S-T-A-T-E-S it should be. Now run it. Now you can check. This states is acting as an index of my data. Let me check it once again. Now the states is not acting as an index. Can anyone tell me what is the reason? Here it is showing me the output that states is the index now. But later on if I check with df, states it is not an index. It is showing me the earlier index. Can anyone tell me what is the reason? See, I already set the index as states. It was showing me. But later on I once again checked it. Now it is not showing me states as an index. Can anyone tell me what is the reason? We have already discussed that, right? Earlier, one of the options is there. Can anyone remember that? Yes, right. Snehal is right there. Shivani. In place. Yes, Arjun, that's right. I should have done it like this. This particular state command, I should have done it with in place equal to true. Because if you want to make some changes and if you want those changes for permanent, what you need to do is in place equal to true and then run it. And then if I check after this point onwards, JF, I will be getting new index as this one, which I wanted to show. Right? So this is how you can set the index. I hope everyone is able to understand this. Right? I hope there is no doubt. And the topic which I was trying to talk about was multiple index. How to create multiple indexes on your data set. Let me first of all tell you when the concept of multiple indexes is going to be useful. When, see, suppose if you have a data set, you imported some data set from some data source, and in your data set you have a lot of rows, many number of rows here. So instead of what's going to happen in that case? So in that case, if your system wants to search something from this row, so it will have to read this row, this row, this row, this row, and so on. It will take a lot of time for access. So if you have a lot of rows, in that case, what you can do is you can use multiple indexes. That means instead of so what will happen because of this number of rows is going to be decreased, or the access time which is going to be required is decreased. But it does not mean that one should always use multiple indexes. Using more multiple indexes is also not good. Let me explain you the concept with a simple and last example. Okay. See, for that I will create a list. I am just trying to create a data. Outside is equal to, let me create a data like this one. Suppose as I want two level of index. So I will create a data set like this. Let me just go here and copy paste it. Okay. So I am creating a data set. I am creating a list first of all, G1, 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 and G2, G2, G2. This is the first list I am creating. Okay. Simple list. Which is going to act as my outside index or the first level of index. Okay, and the next is also I am creating a list which is going to act as my inside index 1 comma 2 comma 3 1 comma 2 comma 3. So basically what I want to do is try to understand here. I want to create something like this G1 1 2 3 G2 1 2 3. What will happen because of this? Suppose I want to search for this particular row. I will not read this. My system will not read this. My system will read this, this, and this. This time is saved, right? Something like this I want to create. So for that, I am just trying to create the two lists as outside and inside. Okay, let me show it to you. See, this is how outside looks like, and this is how inside looks like. Now, after this, before creating an index, see, for creating a multiple index, we have direct method available in case of pandas. But before making use of that, there is called as pd.multi-index. But always remember, to a multi-index, we need to pass tuple as output. Now, who is going to use tuple as output? So there is a command called as zip. Remember this, okay? Zip command we are going to make use of in our first application. That is creating an interactive dictionary. Zip command, zip method. So what I am going to do is zip outside comma inside. What's going to happen because of this? See. Okay, you need to typecast it, maybe in list or in tuple. Let's say in list. Now see, this is going to give me the output of, it is going to zip inside as well as output. See, it is going to give me output something like this: G11, comma, G12, comma, G13, G21, G22, G23, G11, G12, G13, something like this. It is going to give me. See, if I go and run it. Now G11, G12, G1, G21, G22, G23. And I am getting this particular list of tuples inside this square bracket because I have typecasted it inside a list. Okay. Now what am I doing is I am going to assign this particular result to some variable, anything, suppose hierarchical index. Okay, something like this. So now yes, that is assigned to this particular variable. Let me clear everything. Just a minute, okay? I will not take much time, maybe 5 minutes more. Now the time is to use multiple index. So the command is pd.multi-index dot from underscore tuples. See, from underscore tuples. I'm just pressing tab button. And to this one, I am going to pass this as a input. So it is going to create a multiple index. So that multiple index, I am going to assign it to this particular area, hierarchical index. And then if you want to see what is this hierarchical index, you will be able to see now it has created the levels and the codes. So the first level is this one, second level is this one. So see, what are the codes? See, it is like this: G1 1 2 3, G2 1 2 3. What do you mean by this? G1 1, G1 2, G1 3, G2 1, G2 2, G2 3. And what are the codes for this? 0 0, 0 1, 0 2, 1 0, 1 1, 1 2. Right? 6 values I got. So that means I will again create a data like 6 rows and 2 columns. So it is all related to data itself. When you will see the data and actual output, you will understand whatever I am trying to do here. See, I mean to say what I have done till now. I have just created an object called as called as hierarchical index, which is a multiple index. Now that object I am going to make use of in my data frame. So I am going to create a data frame in which I will be making use of multiple index. So pd.data frame. Now, what is the data I want to pass? So np dot random dot, this you people are aware about np dot random dot random. Now specifically I will create 6 rows and 2 columns because that kind of a multiple index I have created. So this is going to be my data, comma, my index is going to be what? Hierarchical index. This is my index which I have created. And which columns I want? I want 2 columns. So what I will do is columns equal to, suppose column name is A, first column name is A, and second column name is B. Right? And see, even though I did not written like data is equal to, but it is data, okay? It is data. So this is going to create a data frame. That data frame I am assigning to df and then run. If you want to see how df looks like, now see. So how many values this has generated? 6 into 2, 12 values. Now those 12 values are like this. So you can check it. See, obviously there are 6 rows only, but I cannot show a bigger data here because it will have taken a lot of time. But now you can see the what has happened here. Now suppose I want to search this particular value. Now I will not go for this G1 itself. I will go for this one only. Otherwise, if it would have been a singular index, in that case, what would happen? First row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. Then you will get the value. In this case, first and second row. Second row itself is better. Are you getting? So this is the first level, this is the second level of the index. Right? Now, obviously, for this particular data, you can go and you can index the things. Right? So as df is my data frame, what I can do is df dot, I can use the same methods here. df dot velocity. Suppose I want to check everything from G1. So yes, I can see everything from G1. Now here suppose from G1 I want only first row. So from G1 I want only first row. So what I can do is I can go here and make it as dot LOC and I want first row only. So I can get that. Only first row. -1, -0.7, -1, -0.7. Right? Suppose I want to know what are the index names. df dot index underscore names. I think no index dot name it is. df dot index name. It is going to show me is there any name which are given to the index. So in our case, we haven't given any index names. That's why I am going to get none. But still, if I want to give some names to the indexes, yes, I can give the names to the indexes in my data. So what I can do is df dot index dot names is equal to, I can pass a list of the names here. Suppose I want to give the index name as group. First index I want to name it as group, and second index I want to name it as number, and then run it, and then check in df, and then check in df, and then you will see the indexes are named as group and number. Okay. And yes, one more way in this one is something called as access. Access in case of data frame here stands for cross section. So I want to check G1 only. So see, you can check everything from G1. XS stands for what? Cross section. Okay, this will help you to solve today's questions. Okay, this thing is going to help you to solve today's questions. Okay, I'll be sharing assignment on this one also. Matplotlib also as well as pandas also. From pandas, we will not be able to solve all the questions, but few of them will be able to solve. So what is the use of this cross section actually? Let me show it to you. See, suppose what I can do is df of access, df of cross section. Right now from G1, I want first row. So here, if I go, what I can do is df dot access. Now from G1 I want only first row, so I can do it like this. But I need to put this particular thing in and then sorry, this square bracket is extra here. When you people also will do it, you will understand. See, from G1 I got first. So cross section. Another level of cross section is suppose see df dot cross section. Now what I want, suppose I want first record from both of them. So I want first record. What from what level? Level as num. Num is the name of the index, right? So from G1 as well as from G2, it is going to give you only first record. This is what you can do with the help of this cross section, right? So this is what I wanted to talk about for these topics in case of pandas. Out of all these topics, data frame is very important. Indexing is very important. Remaining topic I will finish it in next class. And as I told you, we gonna require some extra sessions. I will talk with. Just a minute. So maybe I can talk with faculty members. I will have to ask them whether it will be possible to have some extra session. I already told it to Vishal sir actually. So as you people, if you people are interested, definitely we can go and we can continue with the remaining topics by having some extra session, right? Because if we have that much of time, definitely it will help me also to go slow. Otherwise, see, I want to complete everything, right? Maybe one extra session I think we will require. For applications, I will explain you the code. You will get everything to the code itself. I will show you how to do that, right? But yeah, I think tomorrow we will go with the packages, all the packages. Okay, so yeah, I will let you know what happens when we have some discussion with faculty members. So any question, any doubt, anyone for today, whatever we have discussed? Anyone, any question? Anything? Just let me know. Have you people understood everything, whatever we have discussed today? Just let me know yes or no. Or just put your doubts, whatever you have. I will be sharing all these notes, whatever we have discussed. Yeah, what about others? Can you please just confirm? Are you getting it or not? Okay, thank you, Viraj. Thank you, Smart. Thank you, Sushi, Pooja. Oh, thank you very much. So I think everyone is clear to this point. Obviously, you will have to spend some time. Please try to spend some time on whatever I have discussed and whatever I am going to share. See, try to understand what I will be sharing today. I will be sharing whatever the things which we have discussed about matplotlib plus some advanced notes regarding matplotlib. Those who are interested, they can go there. Plus assignment of matplotlib. Second thing I will be discussing about notes of pandas, which I have discussed and which I am going to discuss. Okay. So matplotlib and pandas things I am going to discuss today. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that's good. I think everyone is okay. Yeah, yeah. Let me know. Likewise, tomorrow you will have asked me questions regarding NumPy. So whatever the assignment I'll be sharing, try to upload that one also. Okay. 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 With this, guys, I will stop here. So let's continue the next session then. And yeah. So bye all of you. We will meet in the next session. Solomon, what do you want to say? Please, if possible, please extend the dates, but please do not extend the time. Okay, that means more than 2 hours you do not want. That's what you are saying, Solomon. Can you just let me know? That's what you are saying. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, that will be taken care of. No problem, no problem. I can understand. One cannot sit for 2 hours, 3 hours continuously, right? I can understand. Don't worry. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you all of you. Bye. Take care.